Black Lives Matter protests have also been held in the UK. Some of the demonstrations there turned violent, with statues becoming something of a target. In Parliament Square in central London, protesters graffitied statues of Abraham Lincoln and Winston Churchill, branding them racist. But in Bristol, demonstrators went even further. Protesters pulled down a statue of 17th century slave trader Edward Colston. It had stood there since 1895. Demonstrators then threw it into a nearby harbour, with hundreds of people chanting Black Lives Matter slogans. And it's a move that was condemned by the government.
There's no justification for violence at all. And when it comes to exercising people's voices and obviously their particular issues and concerns, there are many avenues through which those voices and concerns can be raised and made.
Earlier on, the Home Secretary had claimed that people are distracted now from the cause of the protest. Several other politicians called for criminal charges against those responsible. However, many activists claim the statue was inappropriate and should have been removed long ago. It's an issue we put up for debate.
Why people should want to defend having a statue of a man who represents the genocide of my ancestors. And I would ask your next speaker, would he defend having, for example, the commandant of a Japanese prison camp who had been responsible for 20,000 plus English deaths? Would he defend the statue being kept up there? No, that's not the point. The point is we have to be actually seen to have justice done for all people, wherever they are.
I don't think many people would have heard of Edward Colston before his statue came down in Bristol yesterday. Look, I understand the strong feelings around it. He was a slave trader in the 17th century, 300 years ago. Because of what he did, tens of thousands of people were brutalized and tortured, and their lives were made a living hell. I understand that, absolutely. But there are democratic means to putting up statues and taking down statues, and it shouldn't have been done in that way. Look, you can go to a statue, you can shout into the air all you like, you can say whatever you want, but it's against the law to vandalize statues and buildings, and it's against the law to tear things down. If you want to tear something down, if you want to remove something, you do it with a democratic process. Because otherwise, where's this going to end?
Wouldn't the protest in Bristol, let's go from the past and look towards the future then, wouldn't the protest in Bristol have been a great opportunity to force a concession to get it removed without what's going to be seen as mob justice, for instance?
People have been campaigning for decades to have that statue removed. They have been ignored. Suddenly today, a school and a concert hall have decided to remove both the name and the memorialisation of this merchant of genocide. We have campaigned for years for that to happen. Now, you should be asking why people have ignored the reasonable requests of people of colour and their supporters to have such a racist abuser removed in terms of our public space.
David, how do you respond to that?
What I mentioned was that Edward Colston was responsible for tens of thousands of
90,000. 90,000. One man.
Edward Colston was worked for the Royal Africa Company, and that when he was there, he was responsible for tens of thousands of people being enslaved, which is what I said. Which is
and that's
part
okay. That one man. That's okay, is it?
The picture, of course, of 12 million people being taken into slavery in total in the whole sort of 300-year period. So that is not what I am. I don't disagree with you on that, but you just need to understand what I'm saying. But I think the focus of what these protests need to be doing today is not bringing up some feigned outrage over what happened 200 years ago. Because today we have 27 million people are slaves today, mainly in North African countries such as Libya and Mauritania.